Hello there everyone and welcome to a new review on the channel. And today we're looking at a new release by the 1914, and that is Echo by Chris Rawlins, a drawing duplication masterclass that I think is phenomenal. I think that if you like drawing duplications, you like mentalism, I think this is a must get, a must buy. It is fantastic and I can't wait to unpack all of this for you. So let's roll the intro and get straight into it. Perfect, so decide to stick around, which means you want to learn more about Echo. So what is Echo? Echo is a drawing duplication masterclass, which means that it's a comprehensive course of almost 4 hours that is going to tackle routines, methods, but also theory and kind of intricate concepts of the drawing duplication. Now, I can't really perform this for you because, well, doing a drawing myself, duplicating it is pretty boring, but I can give you kind of a rundown of one of my favorite routines. We won't do it with the drawings. We'll just do kind of one of the routines that I love. And I'm going to talk more about that in a moment. But essentially, you would have, you would tell your spectator that to think of a simple drawing, something that they could draw on a small card, right? You're going to go through that. You're going to do all your script. You give them the pen and you're going to turn around and they're going to take one of these while your back is turned. They're going to draw, they're going to place it back face down, and you tell them, have you drawn everything, or like, is everything good? Face down, perfect. Then you turn around. So normally, again, I would be facing the other way. I would turn around and I'd say, perfect, we're going to leave this right there. And what I want you to do is I want us to bury this in the middle. So just say stop wherever you want. Stop right here. Perfect. So we're going to bury this right there. So just place your drawing here, leave it sticking out. They do that. You say, look, we're going to push it all in. Hold this in your hand, just like this. And now, boom. Now you're ready to go and do the drawing duplication. It is that clean. It is that good. Now, again, it doesn't seem like much here because I didn't turn my back to the camera. I pretend the spectator is there. But it is incredible. Like, trust me, in play, if there was spectators here, it is very, very good. But that's one of kind of the ways that he teaches you to do one of the drawing duplications. And I feel it is so good. But I know you want to learn more about it. So let's unpack the nitty gritty of this. So first of all, where do you buy this? How much does it cost? And what do you get specifically? So you can buy this from the 1914 as a download. It's going to set you back 40 pounds, which is around 45 US, and is around 65, 70 Canadian dollars, depending on the exchange rate. So what do you get with your purchase? You get a 3.5, almost 4 hour download with Chris Rawlins that is in the typical 1914 fashion. Different sections, different subsections in which you can watch the videos and you'll be able to learn through live performances. There's live performances of this, there's studio performances of this, explanations, all that good stuff is present as with any 1914 product. But what you're more interested here is the content. So what is the content exactly of what you're getting? What you're getting here is 4 routines. You're getting 4 routines in the first part of kind of this masterclass, which is the method part. You're getting 4 routines with the methods, and those routines are the kind of basic dupe, which is kind of a dupe that you use like a wallet. It could be a gimmick wallet, non-gimmick wallet. It could be a pocket, a top pocket. It could be a purse, whatever. Anywhere where you take the drawing, you fold it up, you place it there, and you read their mind. So it's a very basic drawing duplication that uses either gimmick wallets or non-gimmick wallets. It's very simple. It's a bit bold, but it's relatively simple. The second one is called the behind the back one, which is the one I kind of performed for you or kind of demonstrated to you quickly. That's an incredible method. If you're familiar with how to read minds or Peter Turner's work, he has a behind the back principle that uses a bit of sleight of hand. This essentially eliminates the sleight of hand completely in such an interesting way. And not only does it eliminate the sleight of hand, but it makes the peek happen in such a devious moment. It is truly insane. So that is absolutely great, okay? I can't really get too much into it, but it is great. So that is one of the peaks that you get. It's called the behind the back one, and it's a routine as well. Then you get an act. You get a 3-phase act that's called Flutterbug, in which you have an index card. You draw 8 drawings with your spectators, random drawings. You then have your spectators rip the drawings. They take them in their hand. They throw them on the table until one is left face up. So the only one, your back is turned while they do this. And then you're able to mentally tell them what the one that's left face up is. You turn your back and you say, okay, exactly, I got it right. You then take that, you rip it up, you place it in your pocket. You take the ones that are remaining, you tell the spectator to mix them up, you give them back, you pick them up, you give them to the spectator, you tell them to deal them into 2 piles while your back is turned. Again, they deal that, they place both their hands over the piles, you tell them to lift any hand, look at the drawing, place it back, mush everything back together and mix them all together. While all of this is while your back is turned. And even while your back is turned, you can tell them, focus on your image, you're thinking of this, and you'll be correct. And then the last phase of the routine is you ask them, you give them a piece, you tell them, can you do another drawing, a random drawing that you're just thinking of right now, a quick one. Do this on the back of this piece, turn it over, mix everything together. You take all of the pieces, you place them in your pocket or you place them in a wallet or you just throw them on the floor. And then you tell them, focus on the new drawing that you drew. It's this. So this is like a 5 to 10 minute act that is so deceiving, uses so many methods. It's so fun. It's a very, very cool act that you could do. It's like a 5-10 minute one. And then the last routine that you get is one with the envelopes. You're gonna get a peek with the envelopes, 2 envelopes that are ungimmicked. So it's an ungimmicked, gimmicked pen, paper. It doesn't use anything fancy. It's just 2 regular envelopes, a smaller one and a bigger one. And you're able to do a really deceptive peek with that and a really deceptive drawing dupe with this principle. So these are the 4 routines that you get. Then moving on, you get the more theoretical aspect of this project, which is essentially kind of the theory and the reasoning behind this. So he's going to talk to you about credits, where he got the inspiration from, why he likes this so much. He's going to tell you about disconnect, about opportunities. There's a lot of times he says that, people don't really know how to hide their drawing. So sometimes when you turn around, you're going to peek the drawing without them ever noticing. So in those cases, you have to take the opportunity and, you don't even do your method. You just tell them, look, is it done? I don't even want to turn around. Place it in your pocket. And then you do like an impossible way of doing the duplication. So there's that as well that he teaches you. And then he goes over a lot of other aspects. He goes over how to use other objects like books, cards, picture decks, ESP decks, etc. He tells you how you can make this into a game with 3 spectators and do a 3 spectator mind reveal of different symbolisms and different parts of a drawing. It's really, really interesting. It's really great. And you really get that he loves this principle. He says it in the trailer that this is what he loves doing, and you really get his passion and his love and the attention and time he put into drawing duplication throughout his career, and it really shines through and it motivates you as well. But that's everything that you get with your purchase. Now let's talk about difficulty. So how difficult are these routines to perform? Well, the behind the back routine is basically beginner level. It is super, super easy. The wallet, the basic duplication one, is a bit more difficult, but still relatively easy. The act, we're going to call it the act, which is the 3-phase routine. Okay, for the rest of the thing, I'm going to call it the act, is super easy as well. It is almost self-working. And the envelope routine is a bit more difficult. It has a bit more scripting needed. It has a bit more misdirection needed. It needs a bit of a cleanup, and it also needs a bit of sleight of hand. Okay, nothing overly complicated, but it is much more difficult than the others, and I would say it's intermediate level, whereas the other ones are relatively beginner level. Moving on to practicality. So how practical are these routines? Well, for the first routine that uses the wallet, all you need is a stack of billets and a pen, and that is it. And you don't even need the wallet, right? He says you could do this with an ungimmicked wallet, you can do this with a purse, you can do it with a spectator's wallet if you want. You can borrow his wallet and do it with his wallet or with your top pocket, whatever. So it's just basically a stack of billets and a pen. For the second routine, the behind the back one, as well, just a pen and your billets. For the act, you're gonna need an index card, so it has to be a bigger card. So you're gonna need to carry around some index cards for that and a pen. And for the last routine, you're gonna need a few billets and you're gonna need your envelopes, your 2 envelopes to carry around. So depending on the routine that you do, it's basically packs nothing or packs a bit. In terms now of inspectability, all of these routines can be inspected by the end, so there's no issue about that. In terms of angles, most of the routines will be 180 to 270 because, as you know, they involve certain moves that can be seen by others. However, the act itself could be maybe done 360 in certain phases. Like the first phase where they rip it and they throw it in the air, that can be done 360. Whereas the other two phases may be 270, but the angles are relatively good here. These routines can be repeated over and over again if you so want, because there's nothing really to see. It's just a drawing duplication. You don't necessarily need a table for the first two routines. So the wallet one and the behind the back one, you do not need any table. However, for the envelope and for the act, you will need a table, of course, for those routines. They cannot be done in the hands. You will need a table, but the first two you don't. And yeah, there's no reset as well. So in terms of practicality, it is very good. Now moving on to where to perform. So where would you perform these routines? These routines are mostly designed, in my opinion, for close-up. However, you can find ways of using these principles on stage or parlor, etc. But they are mostly designed for close-up. There are ways of doing certain routines. You know, he tells you you could use his clarity board for stage, which unfortunately is not readily available anymore because I kind of wanted one, but they're not available. But with what you get here, these are mostly designed for close-up scenarios, table hopping, cocktails, not really for stage. But if you want, you could still use them without a problem. Having said all this, what are the positives and negatives of Echo? As always, we're going to start with the negatives. What are the negatives of Echo? Now, I had a really hard time of finding any negatives because I enjoyed every single minute of this. The only possible negative that I could find is if I stretch the fabric of imagination, is that maybe I wish there was maybe 1 or 2 extra routines in this that would have been a bit different. I think maybe it could have been interesting to have some extra routines, but that's the only negative that I can find. Now let's look at the positives. In terms of the positives, this is very easy to do. The instructions are great. It has live performances. The routines are good. The theory is good. It's very intricate. It's very well explained. And the most important thing is that it motivates you to want to go out and perform these routines. It really does. And you really do want to go and try these out and try and do drawing duplications over and over again. And I think that's the most important. Having wrapped everything up, do I recommend this and what do I give it out of 10? Do I recommend this if you're a mentalist? Yes. Go out and buy it. Even if you don't want to do drawings, some of the methods he explains to you and some of the concepts that he explains to you in the theory can be applied to names, can be applied to numbers, can be applied to whatever you do, whatever you can have your spectator write on a billet. You can use these principles to get the information or force the information. And yeah, it doesn't have to be drawings. He focuses on drawings, but you can easily apply these concepts and everything to other things like a name, whatever. Like the behind the back one, that's the way that I'm gonna do name reveals from now on. That's the way I'm gonna do pin reveals. It's so good. It's such a good method that you can apply to other things as well. So I think if you're a mentalist, this is a must buy. I think you're gonna get so much out of it. What do I rate it out of 10? I usually don't rate products 10s, but this is a 10. It was enjoyable all the way through. It's workable material. It's motivational material for you to want to go out to perform. It's both methods and theory. It is absolutely great. I heavily recommend Echo by Chris Rawlins. If you have any additional questions, leave them down below. If not, I'll see you all in my next review. Have a good one.